In a world of turbocharged engines worth tens of thousands of dollars, there's a lie that's legally protected. You walk into a store and pay a 5-star price for a shiny bottle labeled full synthetic. You believe you're buying the best possible protection for your pistons and turbocharger. The truth is, the oil in your hand, it could just be highly refined mineral oil dressed up and marketed as full synthetic. Many brands label highly refined mineral oil as full synthetic, a legally accepted marketing tactic. The consequence: thick black sludge, low-speed pre-ignition LSPI, and $1,000 engine rebuild bills hitting you right after the warranty expires. It's not true PAO, it's not built for extreme heat, and it doesn't protect your engine the way it claims.
Today, I'll reveal 10 oil brands that commonly use this fake synthetic strategy. Show you how to identify real synthetic oil and give you simple tips to protect your engine and your wallet right now in the long run.
1. The 15,000 km scam: how your engine is being poisoned. Before naming brands, you need to understand a critical truth today. Full synthetic no longer necessarily means truly synthetic oil. The difference lies in molecular structure. Group 3 oil, highly refined mineral oil, is essentially natural carbon chains that have been broken down and rearranged. The result is a non-uniform mixture, weak, small, and strong molecules mixed together. Under high pressure in turbocharged engines or extreme heat, the weaker molecules break down, first causing the oil to lose viscosity, evaporate faster, and reduce its protective capability. In contrast, Group 4 PAO and Group 5 ester oils are synthesized from scratch in laboratories. Every molecule is uniform. They flow smoothly, withstand extreme heat, and resist chemical breakdown. This is the true shield that protects pistons, valves, and turbochargers at an optimal level. Using Group 3 oil while trusting the full synthetic label is essentially opening the door to two silent killers. LSPI, low-speed pre-ignition in turbo engines, creating pressure spikes that can crack pistons. And sludge, thick black deposits that clog oil passages, slowly killing bearings and camshafts, causing rough operation, reduced engine life, and expensive repairs. The reality is simple. Modern BMW and Audi models recommend oil change intervals of up to 15,000 kilometers. But this is based on true PAO ester synthetic oils. If you pour in Group 3 oil disguised as full synthetic, the tragedy can begin as early as 8,000 kilometers. The weaker carbon chains and lower quality oil start to break down, forming burnt varnish that sticks to the turbo. The turbo begins to seize the engine, vibrates, fuel consumption rises, and engine lifespan can be cut nearly in half. You save a few dollars but shorten the life of a machine worth thousands simply because you trusted a shiny full synthetic label. But how do you identify these imposters among a sea of polished brands? Let's step into the blacklist 10 brands you need to be extremely cautious about. Number 1, Castrol Edge, the one that sparked the lawsuit, a typical Group 3 representative. If there's one name responsible for blurring the line between true synthetic oil and mineral oil, it's Castrol. Back in the 1990s, Castrol Syntec was a true PAO-based Group 4 oil. Uniform, heat-resistant, and highly effective at protecting pistons, turbochargers, and valves. But in pursuit of higher profits, Castrol replaced its PAO base entirely with highly refined Group 3 oil, while keeping the full synthetic label and premium pricing. Consumers believed they were still buying true synthetic oil. This led to the 1999 lawsuit between Mobil 1 and Castrol. Mobil 1 argued that Group 3 oil was not truly synthetic. The ruling synthetic was defined as a marketing term, not a strict technical standard. Castrol won, but consumers paid the price. Today, Castrol Edge is one of the most widely used Group 3 oils. It performs well when fresh, but struggles under sustained high temperatures. Over time, Group 3 molecules begin to break down, viscosity drops, and protection for turbochargers and pistons weakens. In modern turbocharged engines, this increases the risk of LSPI, low-speed pre-ignition, and sludge buildup. The real-world consequence: if you stretch it to 15,000 kilometers as recommended, you're gambling with your engine. Burnt deposits accumulate in the turbo metal components where faster injectors. Clogged pistons begin to vibrate, and fuel consumption rises. You save a few dollars on oil but quietly shorten your engine's lifespan without even realizing it. Castrol Edge reflects the power of marketing more than mechanical performance. Its titanium strength advertising promises maximum protection, which is partly true when the oil is fresh. But over the long term, it simply cannot compare to true PAO/ester-based oils. Castrol Edge isn't a bad oil. It meets API standards and provides baseline protection. But if your goal is maximum engine longevity resistance to LSPI and reduce sludge buildup, it's not a top-tier choice. In other words, Castrol Edge is a symbol of a legally accepted marketing strategy, one that isn't fully honest about the underlying chemical structure. You need to stay sharp. Read the technical data sheets, understand molecular structure, and don't let a glossy label make decisions for your engine. Next, there's another familiar name on the shelf backed by aggressive marketing that promises full synthetic yet in reality relies on a foundation similar to most Group 3 oils. Number 2. Valvoline Advanced, a marketing master built on a mineral oil foundation. This brand is a textbook example of how you can turn an ordinary product into a premium icon through advertising and bold promises. Valvoline Advanced. It stands out with the claim 24 times better wear protection than leading competitors. A number like that is enough to excite any car owner. But the real question is, protection how? In reality, this oil is not built on a PAO or ester base, the types designed for extreme heat. Instead, it relies on Group 3 hydrocracked base oil combined with a strong anti-wear additive package. Think of the base oil as the backbone and the additives as the armor on the outside. For the first 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers, that armor performs very well. But Group 3 base oil lacks thermal stability, so it gradually oxidizes and evaporates. As the base oil degrades, the additive armor begins to collapse. The result? After around 7,000 kilometers, protection drops sharply. Turbochargers, pistons, and camshafts start experiencing direct friction deposits, begin to form, the engine runs rough, and fuel consumption increases. Advanced, it sounds like breakthrough technology. But in reality, it's largely a psychological play, big promises with performance that doesn't fully match. Valvoline understands that consumers are drawn to bold claims and powerful-sounding words. It meets basic industry standards. But if your goal is long-term engine protection resistance to LSPI and reduce sludge buildup, this isn't an optimal choice. It's a clear example of form over substance in the world of synthetic oil. And then there's another brand with eye-catching marketing and a platinum label on the bottle, yet still built on highly refined mineral oil Group 3. Number 3, Pennzoil Platinum, the miracle from natural gas, GTL. If Castrol and Valvoline rely on traditional crude oil, then Pennzoil, a Shell brand, launched a powerful marketing move with its Pure Plus technology. They claim our oil isn't made from dark crude oil, but synthesized from 99.5% pure natural gas. GTL, gas to liquids, is indeed very clean, producing fewer impurities than conventional Group 3 oils. However, its molecular structure is still not as stable as PAO Group 4. Think of it like crystal versus diamond cleaner, and visually refined but not as structurally strong as PAO. The advertising about keeping pistons clean? That's true under normal operating conditions. The reality is, under turbocharged conditions or heavy loads, the oil tends to evaporate more easily, the oil film can tear, and protection for pistons and the turbo weakens. Full synthetic makes you think it's PAO, but in reality, GTL is significantly cheaper. You're paying a premium price for mid-tier base oil. In real-world conditions, long highway drives, or sustained high temperatures, GTL molecules gradually weaken. The oil film becomes too thin to properly protect metal surfaces, leading to increased friction, sludge buildup, and a higher risk of LSPI. For performance cars or heavy SUVs, the consequences become more obvious. Higher turbo temperatures, piston contact with carbon deposits, increased fuel consumption, and reduced engine lifespan. In summary, Pennzoil Platinum is still a solid choice for daily driving and normal conditions. But if you're aiming for maximum protection in modern high-performance engines, it doesn't quite match true PAO/ester-based oils like Amsoil or Redline. Number 4, Mobil 1 Baseline, a diluted legacy. Mobil 1 was once the gold standard of PAO-based oil. Back in the 1980s and 1990s, it was the top choice for sports cars, turbocharged engines, and heavy-duty applications. Uniform molecules, extreme heat resistance, and maximum protection for pistons, turbos, and valves. But after the Castrol vs. Mobil 1 lawsuit, the company realized, why spend twice as much producing PAO when the law allows Group 3 to be labeled full synthetic? Today, it has largely become a blended formula consisting of a small amount of PAO to maintain its reputation, a significant portion of highly refined Group 3 base oil, sometimes supplemented with GTL gas to liquids. The result? The name is bigger than the substance. The oil still meets API standards, but its extreme heat resistance and oil film durability have declined. In hard-driven turbo engines, it degrades faster, leading to sludge formation and carbon deposits that impact the turbo and pistons. Consumers pay for a gold standard but receive a product that's merely adequate. Mobil 1 today reflects a brand that leans more toward profit optimization than pure engineering excellence. Next, let's look at a brand known for its striking purple color and high-performance image, but behind that bold appearance lies a reality many overlook. Number 5, Royal Purple. When you pay for color instead of quality. In the car enthusiast world, few oils are as instantly recognizable as Royal Purple. It stands out with its signature purple color and crown logo, a royal image that leads many to believe that pouring purple oil into the engine turns it into a race-ready machine. But color doesn't lubricate. That purple is simply a chemical dye. Royal Purple cleverly uses visual perception to imply premium quality. When you pay a premium price, you expect a pure PAO/ester blend, but the reality is different. Its popular high-performance line is still largely based on Group 3 hydrocracked oil. Then there's the Cinerlec additive package benefit or drawback. Royal Purple promotes Cinerlec for its ability to improve oil film adhesion and reduce friction in the short term. However, it often contains higher levels of phosphorus and sulfur, which can degradate emission systems and gradually damage the catalytic converter. When Group 3 oil is exposed to sustained heat, these additives can contribute to hard varnish deposits forming inside the valve train, ultimately reducing engine lifespan. Royal Purple isn't a bad oil, but you're paying more for the color, the additives, and the racing image than for truly robust molecular stability. My advice, if you're looking for true PAO/ester oil with maximum protection, there are better options available without the need for flashy color or glossy marketing. Royal Purple is a textbook example of a Group 3 oil whose value is amplified by image and emotion rather than true chemical superiority. And next we have another familiar name widely available at an attractive price point, wearing the full synthetic label yet still fundamentally built on Group 3 oil. A choice driven more by cost efficiency than real engineering advancement. Number 6. Quaker State Full Synthetic. Budget oil disguised as full synthetic. Quaker State Full Synthetic plays its strongest card, low price. You'll often find it on the bottom shelf of supermarkets or as the default option at quick lube centers. The full synthetic label makes users think they are getting premium PAO/ester oil, but in reality it's typically entry-level Group 3, just enough to meet API standards. Quaker State, a brand under Shell, is marketed as a cost-effective solution that still qualifies as full synthetic. But in this industry, you get what you pay for remains a hard truth. It lacks reserve capacity for harsh operating conditions. Oxidation resistance is limited, and the oil film begins to thin after around 5,000 kilometers. If you extend oil change intervals, the engine increasingly runs under direct friction, raising the risk of LSPI and sludge buildup. It's a classic case of old wine in a new bottle. Sharing the same parent company as Pennzoil, Quaker State may occasionally incorporate small amounts of GTL but at a lower grade. You'll see plenty of certifications on the label. But remember, those standards represent the minimum threshold to keep an engine from failing immediately, not the benchmark for long-term protection. For older vehicles, this oil is generally good enough. But in modern turbocharged engines, the risks increase. Deposits can build up in oil passages, turbos and pistons wear faster, and repair costs can climb into the thousands of dollars. You won't notice it immediately, but the damage accumulates silently over time. Quaker State Full Synthetic is a clear example of a short-term cost-saving strategy that carries long-term risks for modern engines. Number 7. OEM oil. Genuine doesn't always mean premium. If you think Toyota or Honda personally engineer and manufacture a special oil just for your engine, you'd be mistaken. Automakers are masters of branding, packaging, and marketing, not oil refining. The trap of brand trust. Brands like Toyota, Honda, and Ford typically outsource oil production to third parties such as Mobil Shell or Idemitsu. The contract usually goes to whoever can supply Group 3 oil that meets minimum standards at the lowest cost. That full synthetic OEM oil. You buy at a premium price from dealerships. In most cases, it's still Group 3 hydrocracked, highly refined mineral oil, less uniform and less heat stable than PAO/ester. So why not use high-end PAO? Because it costs 2 to 3 times more. Multiply that by millions of liters per year and the numbers become massive. Automakers don't need your engine to last 50 years. They need it to perform reliably through the 3 to 5 year warranty period. Group 3 oil does that job well enough. But beyond 100,000 kilometers, sludge buildup begins, and repair costs fall on you, not them. When you see a Toyota or Ford logo on an oil bottle, your mind automatically associates it with absolute safety. And that's exactly what allows manufacturers to sell mid-tier oil at premium prices. For example, a genuine 0W20 oil from Honda often has a lower flash point and higher volatility compared to specialized PAO/ester oils like Amsoil or Ravenol. Yet it can cost more. The real-world consequence. The oil film gradually thins. Turbos and pistons begin to experience more direct friction. Sludge forms, engine lifespan decreases, and maintenance costs rise quietly over time. In summary, OEM oil is a safe choice for meeting warranty requirements. But if your goal is maximum engine protection, reducing LSPI, sludge, and premature wear, you should seriously consider switching to true PAO/ester-based oils for your regular oil changes. Number 8. Lucas Synthetic Strong Additives Limited Base Oil. In the world of motor oil, Lucas Oil is well known for its impressive additive packages. It promises reduced friction, better engine protection, and extended lifespan for pistons, camshafts, and bearings. This leads many car owners to believe that simply using Lucas Synthetic makes their engine bulletproof. Lucas heavily emphasizes anti-wear, anti-oxidation, and performance-enhancing additives. In the short term, the results are noticeable smoother operation, reduced vibration, and a stronger driving feel right after an oil change. But the core issue lies in the base oil. Most Lucas Synthetic products still rely on Group 3 hydrocracked oil, not PAO, Group 4, or ester Group 5, which means instability over time. Additive polymers behave like elastic bands under high heat and pressure. They can shear and break. After a few thousand kilometers, the oil loses viscosity, turning from a protective film into a thinner fluid, allowing metal-to-metal contact. Additive breakdown. Degraded additives can form varnish deposits that stick to precision components like VVT systems and turbochargers. Lucas Oil is a master of motorsport sponsorships, especially in off-road racing and heavy-duty truck events. That exposure makes many people believe their oil is virtually indestructible. But here's the reality: the oil used in professional racing applications is completely different from the full synthetic bottles you find on retail shelves. A word of warning: if you're running a modern engine with extremely tight tolerances, Lucas Synthetic can become a silent liability for the lubrication system, increasing the risk of sludge, direct metal contact, and premature wear. Next, we'll look at a product line that was originally developed for industrial use, but is now marketed as synthetic to boost perceived value on retail shelves. Number 9. MAG1, Industrial Oil in a Synthetic Disguise. MAG1 takes the most practical route mass production at extremely low cost, then applying the full synthetic label to push it into a higher price segment. MAG1 is owned by Warren Distribution, a company known for large-scale oil packaging, not advanced engine chemistry research. Its full synthetic oils are mostly mid-grade Group 3 hydrocracked base oils, commonly used in industrial machinery or hydraulic systems, not designed to withstand the extreme heat and pressure of modern turbocharged engines. The full synthetic label allows it to be sold at up to 1.5 times its actual value. Certifications like API SP or ILSA CGF6 only prove that the oil won't damage the engine under laboratory conditions. They do not guarantee optimal protection when your engine is running continuously at 120 degrees Celsius on the highway. The critical weakness is NOAC volatility. Group 3 oils evaporate quickly, causing the oil film to degrade after just a few thousand kilometers. The evaporated oil then deposits on intake valves and turbo blades, forming hard carbon buildup. In GDI engines, this can lead to clogged injectors, power loss, and in severe cases, engine teardown for cleaning. MAG1 may perform well at first, but as temperature and load increase, its protective capability drops off rapidly. The added additives only extend protective performance for the first few thousand kilometers. After that, deposits varnish begin to form on sensitive components. Turbocharged and direct injection engines are especially vulnerable. MAG1 may look premium with its full synthetic label and higher price, but in reality, it's essentially a dressed-up Group 3 industrial oil. Performs fine at first, but lacks the durability to protect modern engines over the long term. Number 10. Supermarket oil. Costco/Walmart. The illusion of equivalence. The last category I want to mention is private label supermarket oil, a cheap, widely available option. But one thing is certain: there's no real PAO inside. If you walk into Costco or Walmart, you'll see 5-liter jugs labeled full synthetic, at half, sometimes even 1/3 the price of Mobil 1 or Castrol. The goal is simple: deliver oil that meets minimum standards like API SP or ILSA CGF6, enough to protect engines in lab tests while maximizing profit margins. Retailers don't produce oil themselves. They outsource to large-scale packagers like Warren Distribution or Amali Oil. The formula is just enough basic Group 3 base oil meeting minimum API standards with virtually no PAO or ester content. These oils perform adequately under normal driving conditions. But under high heat, heavy loads, or long-distance driving, they tend to break down quickly. If you extend oil change intervals or drive under harsh conditions, the oil film thins and protection drops significantly. High NOAC volatility leads to evaporation, leaving behind hard carbon deposits on GDI intake valves. You save a few $dozen on oil, but quietly accumulate hundreds in future cleaning and maintenance costs. YouTube experiments only last a few minutes, and they often make supermarket oils look equivalent to premium ones. But the real difference only shows up after more than 5,000 kilometers or 100 hours of harsh operation. By then, supermarket oil may have fully degraded, losing its lubricating ability, while PAO/ester-based oils still maintain a stable protective film. Private label supermarket oils are a reasonable choice for older vehicles light driving or owners who don't want to spend much. But if you want to protect a modern engine, especially a turbocharged one, and extend its lifespan, this is not an ideal choice. It clearly demonstrates a simple principle: low cost always comes with limits and protection. The 10 names we've just covered might shock you because they are sitting in the garages of millions of households. The reality is, full synthetic is often just a promise on the label, not a commitment proven in the lab. Major corporations have won legal battles to call mineral oil synthetic, but your engine doesn't lie. It's dealing with sludge carbon buildup and the risk of premature overhauls. Remember, not every full synthetic label delivers maximum engine protection. Choose the right oil, understand its origins, and avoid sludge carbon buildup and costly repairs. Check and upgrade your oil today to protect your engine. If you found these insights useful, share this video with your friends or anyone planning vehicle maintenance. Don't let them waste money on empty full synthetic traps. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next truths. See you next time.